a man with your resume, you wouldn't date yourself.
Probably not.
So, but you want a man to date you.
She was stuck, boy. Hey, yo. We back. Reelspicy. Here to check out these videos, man. Kendra G. Another Kendra G. I love Kendra G, man. Very entertaining. You know what I mean? You got a lot of people on there. The comments be crazy, but she got a young lady on here with 3 kids, single mother. A lot of times I be seeing the women that get on her show, they be having some unrealistic requirements. Let's see what this lady's all about. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into this video like that.
Hello?
Hi, Kendra.
Hi, have you been here before? You look familiar.
Nope, never
All right.
been here before.
What's your name, boo?
Nisha,
Nisha, where you calling me from?
Los Angeles.
LA. How old are you driving?
I'm a passenger.
Okay. What do you do for a living, baby?
I do case management.
You do what?
Case management. I'm a case manager. Case manager.
You have any kids?
3 kids.
How old are your kids?
19, 14, and 2.
How old are you, Nisha?
I'll be 40 next month.
Okay. Do your kids have the same father?
3 fathers.
Why not with your
Daddy.
2-year-old dad?
I have to write a book to explain that.
Give me a paraphrase. Give me one chapter.
A narcissist.
Oh, man.
Why you have a baby?
You don't know until you know.
You found out after you had a child?
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay.
Now, see, I'll be seeing a lot. I'm gonna have to pause it right here. Now, so far, she sound like a lot of the women that get on here, right? They tell you the guy was a narcissist. I'm starting to believe a lot of people don't even know what narcissism means. But with this young lady right here now, like she just looks attractive. You know, I can see why, you know, a guy would find her attractive. But a lot of times women just automatically assume that it's the guy's fault. You know, it's the guy's problem. When a person asks, okay, well, what's the deal? What happened? They never can put it to you in straight and narrow and really boil it down to what happened. And chances are, when any type of situation, it's both sides somehow, some way. You know, I mean, yeah, you do have bummy guys out there, some real scum of the earth types, you know, that you definitely need to get away from. But, you know, at the same time, usually, most of the time, it's both sides did something to it. There's an action and a reaction, and there's just ebbs and flows of the relationship where something just bends so much that it breaks, you know. But let's get back to it. I just, you know, I always pause it, man, because I see the same question and answer sequence on her show, and many of the women have the same answers, you know, and usually it's somebody else's fault. They find no fault in themselves, and it's the guy's fault. Let's go ahead and continue, man.
What's zodiac sign, Nisha?
I'm a Cancer.
All right, let's do it. Nisha, 40.
Nisha with an M.
Oh, Misha. My apologies. Misha, 40, case manager, 3 kids, and a Cancer. What kind of man you looking for?
I'm looking for an honest man, a man that's emotionally intelligent, a man that has his ish together, a man that's willing to be a man to a woman, willing to compromise, able to hold a conversation, communicate, someone that I can trust. Can you hear me?
Misha, who's driving? Put the camera on the driver.
Oh, she want to see.
Sister.
Oh, hey,
Hi,
girl.
Kendra.
She wanted to make sure.
Hey, boo. Okay.
She ain't slick. She tried to make sure she wasn't
right.
driving.
What's some deal breakers?
Deal breakers are multiple baby mothers, more than 2, 3 kids.
Wait, hold on, Misha. And I say this with all due respect. You have 3 baby daddies.
But my kids are grown. My
But you
children are
still got
almost
3
grown.
baby daddies, so why can't he have multiple baby mamas?
Okay, so young baby mamas, young kids young baby mamas.
So we got 3 baby mamas, but they just can't be young.
They can't be young kids. No.
So it's about the kids, not about the amount of baby mamas.
Both. I don't want no young kids, no multiple baby mamas with young kids.
I mean, I respect that.
How baby mamas gotta be?
I respect that right there. I mean, it sounds contradicting. It sounds double standard. But, it sounds selfish. But reality is, I think it could work, just because she doesn't want to have young kids or young baby mamas. I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. Maybe she just doesn't want drama on the other end. As long as you're not expecting a guy to be super stepdaddy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, being in the same household, you're gonna be involved in the kids, and as you want to. I mean, especially if you care for the woman as you want to. But that's not necessarily a given. I think a lot of women gotta realize, man, when you got kids, you putting them in the position where the man may or may not want to be the best dad. You know what I mean? And so they might not even had a vibe where they want the kids around. Or the kid might feel like they in the way some kind of which way. And so, a lot of times the women don't really care, especially if she's a young mom. She might not even care about what the kid's feeling. Or the kid might have an issue with communicating that with their parent. And so that kind of could show a flag or a sign of her being selfish. At the same time, some guys may not want to have kids, and they, would fit into her situation a little bit better. I feel like this: as long as you communicate what you want, and you're reasonable, hey, at the end of the day, you really can't complain. Let's continue.
No, not the baby mamas. Baby mamas are adults, I'm assuming. No man with young kids. And
well, that's why I said, because
mamas.
I get that, but you said not multiple baby mamas, and that's why I said you have 3 baby daddies. So you don't care how many baby mamas he has.
Right, meaning no, like I said, no more. I have 3 baby daddies, so no more than what I have. 3.
That's multiple.
No more than, well, yeah, and there's men out there with more than that. So that's my math.
Okay. 3 baby. Okay, what else?
So far, I don't have no problem with that. She's saying 3 baby mamas max. I mean, hey, that works for me.
As far as deal breakers, no abusive men. A man that's can hold himself accountable.
They're telling me that she said no young kids, but you got a 2-year-old.
I do have a 2-year-old.
So why can't he have a young kid?
Because there's only room for one young kid. I don't want to deal with the young baby mom.
So you don't want to date?
I see. Okay, so here we go. That could be an issue. I mean, again, want what you want, have your requirements, have your preferences. But I think what that comes off is, you just want your baby attended to. And reality is, your baby's 2 years old. You probably shouldn't be jumping in no relationship. I mean, hey, do what you do. But I would imagine that you probably want to get your situation straight. Make sure you solidify the health and care of your baby, that it can get to, develop in the right way. To have a man come in, especially if that's not his seed, you just don't know how people are. I mean, man or woman, they come into a new situation with a kid that isn't theirs. Doesn't mean they're going to be mean or abusive, but they may not necessarily give it the love it needs and the attention it needs. And I've seen young baby mothers sacrifice their kids' attention and well-being, overall well-being. They might get the basics, but the overall well-being as far as the attention they need is not there for a man that comes in just so they can date and get to know and build on a relationship with a man. They are somewhat neglecting their kids. Maybe they get, like I said, the basic care and their needs. They get fed, they go to school, they get dressed, but at the end of the day, they're ignoring the other things. Kids, they notice when they're in a situation where they got a stepdad or potential stepdad, and especially if the stepdad doesn't even want them around, they can feel that vibe. And so you should be just concentrating on your kid. But I understand it's tough out here by yourself. And so you want to have help. You want to have a man that's with you to help protect you, you know what I mean? But that's why I tell a lot of ladies, man, you might as well just stay with the guy you were with, unless he was abusive, you know what I mean? And really, you got to get him away from him, especially in those first 2, 3, 4 years of a child's life, probably all the way up to 5 or 6. You at least want to have the biological father around. You know, it's just the sheer fact of the love and care of a man that's going to be there and actually protect the family there. Unless it's abusive, where the kid is seeing that every day, and it's more damaging to just have the person in the home and you guys are always arguing and fighting. I can understand that, but other than that, man, it can't be over no little ego shit, especially when you have a kid. But for many men, this probably would raise a red flag, in the sense that it seems as if she's just looking from her perspective. You know, if he was to have a young kid, a young child, she wouldn't be open to that. She just wants all the attention and focus financially and everything else on her and her family nucleus, her family core. His be damned, you know what I mean? And so, you know, it does kind of strike me as selfish. I could definitely see that. You know, like I said, everybody has their preferences, nothing wrong with it. I just feel like to a man, what it does is it definitely gives a flag. And women got to understand, you know, they judging every move a man makes. Everything's a red flag. What they say, what they do, even inaction. So a lot of times they forget that guys are judging them the same way. I mean, for the most part, you are paying attention to what you're hearing, seeing, and what they're doing.
So if you was a man, you wouldn't date you?
If I was
exactly.
Date me.
Well, you have a 2-year-old, but you're saying if a guy had a 2-year-old, you wouldn't date him. So the things that you have, you wouldn't date.
As a man, for a man, yes.
So if you were a man with your resume, you wouldn't date yourself.
Probably not.
So, but you want a man to date you?
Absolutely. I'm being real.
You say that thinking from your own perspective. See, it's again, Kendra's trying to give her exercise of thinking from another person's perspective, but she's still thinking from her perspective, just in a different body. You know what I mean? That's how she's looking at it. And then from the different body, she's saying, oh, I would date me. You know, she's trying to think. That's why she was a little stuck. She's trying to think to be right. You know, even against another female right now, she's just like, she's not going to get the point of what Kendra's trying to get. She's saying that, hey, you're not going to date yourself. Your situation, you wouldn't want the situation from someone else. And again, I can understand that to some degree. But, you know, she's just trying to hold a mirror to her like, look, you know, you want something that you don't have. And so, again, that's when people start talking about delusion and start talking about you're requiring too much. Your requirements are out of whack with, or out of line with what you're offering. So very interesting how someone comes on the show like Kendra G and just, they're looking for the best version of someone else. But again, when they start to break down what they offer, you start to see a little bit of some of those flaws, and they start adding up.
So if you were a man with your resume, you wouldn't date yourself?
Probably not.
So, but you want a man to date you?
She was stuck, boy.
I'm being real, Kendra.
She don't get it.
I'm just saying things so maybe you can hear
She
what
don't
you're
get it.
saying, because you're basically describing yourself and saying what you don't want, but then you want a man to date that.
Listen, because I'm speaking for myself. I'm a mother,
Obviously.
and I know what entails as a mother. Me having dating a man with a younger child, there are some stipulations that I'm gonna have to make adjustments.
You don't
for
think
this
a man has to make adjustments when he dates a woman?
No, because my child's father is not in the picture.
See, exactly what I was just talking about. A lot of the women don't really look at what the man is getting, because they're just so busy looking at having a man is having company, having security, and then having the help financially in the household to take care of their kid. They're not even looking at what the man is getting at all. They're not understanding that you're raising another person's kid, which, like I said, I got a lot of stepdaddies out here that I know that's willing and relish, you know, they thrive in that environment of helping kids, period. They love kids. And I totally understand that, but that doesn't make it to where women can just take the advantage of that and take it for granted. You know, some men out here do not want kids that's not their own. They don't want to play stepdaddy. They don't want to do it. And so they'll do the bare minimum. And again, what the woman's showing in this instance, in a lot of instances like this, is you're selfish in the sense that you don't care what the kid is getting out of it, and you don't care what the man is getting out of it. The kid is not getting the full deal either. You know what I mean? Because again, they're with a man that probably doesn't want them around, and you can feel that. You can say one thing, but the actions and the vibes and the energy speaks a lot to the opposite way. You're gonna feel it as a kid. If you're not looking at it from and not having empathy as a woman to understand what the man is getting in their experience, and of course they're gonna have to come out of pocket and pay bills with the kid involved. They're gonna have to, put into it. And again, most men would want to do that, but at the same time, the woman cannot take it for granted. Like this young lady here, she's doing that, and she's gonna go ahead and act and say, "Oh no, it don't matter what the man is getting, or the father's not around it." And so you can see how her perspective is on the cheating end, right? She's thinking that the man would only care if the father's around in case there's an opportunity to cheat. The opportunity to cheat is there, right? It's really the opposite. Whereas, usually because the woman has the kid, then the current relationship with the new man, he's going to have to take care of that kid, right? Because the kid's in the household. Certainly you're going to have to secure the kid. If it's in your household, you're securing the whole household. So you're securing the kid. They're going to have to listen to you. There's a structure, involved with a quality guy. They're going, the kid's going to have to adhere to that structure, some level. There's a disciplinary part of that, component to that, to where the kid's going to have to listen to the stepdad. And so all these type of situations, all this dynamic, she's ignoring.
So let's say your child gets sick, you have to choose your child over him, so he has to make adjustments to date you with a young child.
Yeah, and this is my story. So whoever is open to my story, I'm assuming they would come forward and present themselves.
You're not even open to your story.
I'm open to my story.
You would not
of course
date
I
yourself.
Am. If I was a man, I wouldn't date a woman with young children. No.
So you wouldn't. So if you were a man, you would have dated you because you have a young child.
But I can do what I want to do.
That's fine. But what I'm just saying is, I'm not sure if you hear yourself. You just said if I was a man, I wouldn't date a woman.
Probably not. I'm nervous as hell, Kendra.
Hold on. Hear this real quick. You literally just...
Nervousness has nothing to do with it. I mean, come on now. I mean, first of all, you want to come on this show prepared. I see so many people come on this show unprepared. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So many people come on here unprepared. It's crazy. You know what I mean? And expect to have somebody come on of quality that chooses them. Okay, I understand somewhat of what she's saying. Ultimately, a lot of us are biased towards ourselves, and so we're gonna think better of ourselves than some of the people that we're trying to, mate with and connect with. But at the same time, I think what Kendra's trying to do is give us some kind of level of humility, some kind of level of self-reflection to show, okay, you know what, what you're offering isn't the same level what you're asking for. Everybody's looking for better than what they're bringing to the table. I think that's part of the problem. You're looking for better than what you can bring, but you got to get somebody that's around where you're at. You know what I'm saying? You can't just get somebody clearly better than what you're offering.
I said if you was a man, you would not date a woman with a young child. You have a 2-year-old. So that means if you were a man, you would not date you.
Only because like I said, I know as a woman what we expect, and with a man having younger children, there's a baby mama back there wanting something, needing some time, attention, money that I'm not willing to compromise with.
See, that's what it is.
Okay.
That's really what it is.
Does he have a certain amount of money?
No.
Does he have to look?
As long as he's self-sufficient, takes care of himself, and can add to me once we connect, then that's fine.
Add to how?
Dating, I like surprises. I
Mm.
like gifts. I'm not expecting him to have a certain amount of money, but just be able to step up to the plate as a man.
Okay. Now your 2-year-old dad, you told me he was a narcissist. So y'all co-parent well?
We don't co-parent.
So he's not involved?
No.
So will there be drama if a guy got involved with you?
No drama. He's not involved.
Okay.
Now, some guys prefer this. Some guys would prefer a guy not being involved because I guess their primary concern is you going back to him, y'all hooking up with your baby daddy or something like that. But for me, that's a red flag. You know what I mean? For me, that's a red flag. I mean, I have to see the circumstances. Like I said, if he's abusive to her or the child or both or whatever, you know, and like I said, there's conditions where you just can't be around this person. That's one thing. But then you get around so many people and it's really just about ego, right? It's just something like they cheated on you, they left with somebody else, and so now you withholding the kid from them or something like that. I mean, that happens quite often, actually. So you have to really dig into it. She thinks it's better that the guy isn't around, and like I said, some guys might look at that as favorable, but I would look at it like a red flag. Like, to me, you got to be adult enough to work with people for the greater good. Your kid needs their biological father, and unless there's a real reason why he's not around and out of the picture completely, I need to have that justified. You know what I mean? Because now, let's say you have a kid with her, she might do that to you. Now you're not able to contact her. She done hit the courts. Now you have no contact with your kid and you're paying child support. And hey, you know, it's rigged like that. It can happen to you like that. And so for a lot of men, that's a red flag as well. They can't have their own kids prior. The relationship they're coming into has a kid, a young kid, that you're going to have to be daddy to. And like I said, many guys would be okay with that. But then what are they getting out of the deal? Right? It's one thing if you come in whole, you have that humility, you're willing to play your position, you're willing to overplay your position, because you know the guy's coming in having to spend extra, having to do extra, having to be extra to somebody. And again, she said somebody's gonna come in and be willing to play the role because they like how she look or they want to pursue her. And this is why a lot of women want you to pursue them, because they're like, okay, well, whatever I have, whatever comes with me, you're gonna take. And it's like, nah, you know, you have to be willing to understand the shortcomings and the things that the guy have to deal with, and say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna overplay my position as a woman, right? I'm gonna go ahead, he's taking care of my kid that isn't his, he's being a man, he's doing all these things. See, all these requirements come, and it's just requirements, that's it. And it's not like, oh, I appreciate it, or, you know, and the way you show appreciation, not saying it, but playing your position to compensate for it, and whatever that may be, right? You showing your skills, you're putting that into so that you could somewhat even the situation out. You know, it's not all on the man, right? I mean, as a man, our shoulders are meant to carry. We meant to carry the brunt of the load as far as pressure and all of that. But at the same time, for a woman, they have to understand, okay, let me appreciate what a man is bringing to the table. Now, you heard her say, like, right away, she's like, well, I like gifts, I like surprises. So again, you're supposed to run into a relationship like this that's not to your favor, only to further spoil her. And nothing was said, and not yet one thing has been said about how she could spoil her man or make it worthwhile for a man to come into this relationship. And, you know, it's just crazy, man.
Let's do the Kendra cam. Let's see. Okay, you definitely got a cute shape.
All right.
The sun is kind of getting in your face, but we can kind of see it. Girl, I'm going to just tell you right now, the cousins...
You see, a lot of women look good. A lot of women look good. That's not the problem. A lot of women look good. Maybe some can get into a little bit better shape, but that's not her problem. She's good, right? The issue is the mindset and the personality, you know, and then you want a man that's a man's man. So a man's man's gonna come with some structure. And probably you don't have much structure in your life. You know what I mean? But man's gonna come with structure, some ideas, some leadership, a path and a direction. And if you're not willing to be coached, you're not willing for a man to grab your hand and take you with him, you're not ready for no alpha male. You're not ready for no real man, manly man, a man with a direction, a man with, you know, real passion for life and that's headed somewhere. Nah, you're not ready for that. But yeah, like looks is nothing at this point. If you're a man that has quality, you look average to above average, you're gonna get a good looking woman. That's just not a problem. There's so many out here. The issue is catching you one that has a good balance of humility, confidence, personality in terms of having a sense of humor, having self-reflection. All that type of stuff is what makes it real worthwhile. You know what I mean?
They're kind of reiterating some of the things that I said. Have you ever thought about your requirements, how they are a contradiction?
I actually didn't see, and I'm honestly nervous as hell. So I'll probably replay this and be like, "What the hell?" But
One thing I like about my show is I do think people use the word delusional. I don't know if that's the case. I just think that sometimes people describe things and not real. I mean, in your case, you literally are describing a lot of things you have that you do not want to date. So it just sounds crazy. I think people listening back. But we'll move forward. Do you want more kids? Oh, is it a freeze up?
It froze on them.
It froze up.
Damn.
I'm not sure if she left or if it got disconnected. Let me see if it got disconnected or not. I'm not really sure.
She gone, Kendra.
Let me see if
she gone.
Someone said, "Look at God." Exactly.
Why would I want myself when I can get better than myself? She want better than herself. She know her.
You did?
She know her. She said it's only room for one baby. Duh, the one I already got.
She gone, Kendra. She gone. Well, look, man. Yeah, this is typical, man. This is actually real typical right here. I mean, like I said, she could be attractive. The 3 kids is a thing where I think some guys may not necessarily go with, but like I said, there's some, you know, some guys that aspire to be stepdads out here. So the percentage is lower, but you know, there's guys out here. I know quite a few, but beyond that, I just thought that she just sounds selfish. She sounds like a lot of women out here that just looking at what they get out of the relationship. And I didn't hear one time what the guys getting out of it, you know, what her qualities were. And I guess they were kind of stuck on, I mean, maybe they didn't get there. They didn't get to that part yet because they got disconnected. But you got to dig deep for you to get to the point of what is the guy getting out of it again? Did you even think about that? Is that even what, you know? So chalk that up to another delusional one. So with that being said, let me know what y'all think out here, man. Another delusional one? Yeah. What do we say to these women, man? How do we bridge this gap, dog? Is it too late? Is it done? Are we not able to make this better? Are we not able to improve the relations between men and women, especially us in the black community, man? Let me know what y'all think, man. When y'all pass that like button, bang on it, bang on it, bang on it, bang on it, bang on that like button, bang on that like button. Subscribe. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and share the channel. Share the video if you like what we represent. And I appreciate y'all, man. Another one, real spicy. Like that. We out.